Hello everyone and welcome to today's episode of The Shredding Skeptic. I'd like to take you guys on a quick tour of a channel update regarding some new content I'd like to begin adding into the channel. Now I do apologize, I am feeling a little bit under the weather today. There is a bit of a cold going around the office, so I do apologize if I'm a little bit offbeat. But first up, I do want to give you guys a quick equipment tour to show you guys what it is that we're working with and how we go about building up our tracks. So stay tuned and let's jump right in. So, I thought a good place to start our discussion would be from the bottom up. This is the Yamaha RBX 375, and I use it to build my songs from the bottom up with a drum track in the background. So, let's take a quick listen to how she's set up right now. On to the next one. I'd like to introduce you guys to the Shred-o-Caster Mk1. This used to be my first guitar back when it was a Fender Strat. Well, I guess the Squire, the original pack that most of us did start our playing careers with, but it has become heavily modified over the years, so let's take a quick look at some of the changes that I've made. So the first thing you'll probably notice on here is the hollow flash finish that I partially successfully applied the first time I tried to do a new finish on a guitar, so I wouldn't recommend that for your first time. You can also see here the fretboard scalloping and the removal of the Fender moniker because it's not really one of theirs anymore. So the idea with the fret scalloping here is your fingers won't actually make contact with the wood and you can play a little bit quicker. Got some active drag and fire pickups in there, a 7-way switch with that push-pull volume pot, a passive tone expander for the bass and treble frequencies on the tone pot, and finally a 5-way switch for active distortion built right into the guitar itself, as well as a nice new chrome tremolo, and finally some glow-in-the-dark fret dots. So one of the things you may notice that does stand out just a little, as mentioned, is the scalloped fretboard that I have included on here. This was basically just a toil of love using a file. And as you guys can kind of see there, the frets are just basically scooped out. And the effect of this is when you press down on the string, your finger doesn't actually make contact with the wood at all. So it's going to make bends and hammer-ons and pull-offs a little bit more, not quick, I suppose. Also, it's got a bit of a different playing feel. You have to have quite a light touch so you don't bend the note out of tune. So we're going to take a little bit more in-depth look at those other techniques down the road. But first up, let's just take a quick listen to how this thing sounds in its current setup. over the next little while, we're going to be talking about different things like scales and modes. So I'd like to just give you guys a quick feel for a couple of those different modes, just so you guys can get an idea of what they sound like and how we can work them into our songs. So first up, what I'd like to do is just go off and quickly record some backing tracks, and I'll be right back and we'll lay down a quick solo start to finish, and well, we'll see how it all works out. Alright, so we're going to take a look at our quick backing track that we've just got it laid down, and we're going to try to do this all in one take. So here's hoping for the best. Let's dive right in. One take. Excellent. So I hope you guys found this fever-induced madness interesting, because over the next few weeks we're going to be diving into a little bit more depth in terms of the elements of how we put these tracks together. So stay tuned for some of those episodes, because next week I do want to talk a little bit more about some of the YouTube channels that have inspired me to take the channel in this direction. So stay tuned, and let's have a conversation about life, music, gaming, and whatever else that you guys would like to discuss. So thanks again for tuning into this episode of The Shredding Skeptic. See you next time.